I spent years trying to get over and love my body. Like, I don't need to now worry about your insecurity if I'm dating you.
Yeah.
About my body.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's
1000%.
just not how it works. So
1000%.
you love my body. You're attracted to it. Accept that and be proud of it. And that's it. And your friends, if they're your real friends, will be happy that you're happy.
Literally. And another point I wanted to touch on when you said about the ghosting thing, I've noticed, and I learned this later on in dating when I, got older and more experienced, is that I've noticed that a lot, that like when guys ghost, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, he ghosted me. It must be me. What did I do wrong? And it usually is another woman, like somebody that he just decided to drop you for and didn't even let you know, I guess, because he didn't want to have that awkward conversation or whatever. He just wanted to let you, like, have you just wondering what happened while he just goes off into the sunset with another girl. And it's just like, why not have that conversation? You just like spent all these weeks talking to me, we've built up this rapport, and you just go ghost? That is so rude. Like, just tell me that you're talking to someone else. But I feel like guys don't do that because they love the door to be cracked. Like, I feel
exactly.
like, right, women love closure. We love closure. We love to move on from the situation. Guys always come back for some reason because they love the door cracked. And it's like, do you not want to move on yourself? Like, what do you think you're gonna get here? You know what I mean? It's just wild and absurd.
For sure. They want that opportunity to tap on that window just in case. And they can come up with an excuse, and it's 50-50 if the girl will take them back. So right. For them, it works in their favor to ghost you versus closing the door completely shut.
How did you feel about, well, obviously we know how you felt about him reaching out to you while he was, you said fiance, married?
So I reached out to him just to say like congratulations, but I didn't think it was gonna.
But he kept talking to you afterwards.
Spiral the way it did. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever think about telling his fiance?
I thought about it, but I also didn't like I didn't know their relationship. Like, I didn't know if it was an open relationship. Like, I never like dived deeper into that, and so it felt weird to kind of insert myself more than I wanted to be inserted.
I'm the same. I'd be like,
and there's like that meme. It's like, oh, whenever you feel like bad about yourself, you think about like how your name might be. If someone says your name, like your name is like can cause debate within like a couple. Like, I always thought like maybe that was that couple, but like I don't know. I have no idea what happened there, and I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously something must have happened for them to break off the engagement, and so it seemed like whatever happened was meant to happen, and I'm happy that happy for her.
Right. I am too, because I actually asked him about that, because when he told me, like, at the time that I talked to him, he had broken off the engagement already, or the time he came back. I mean, he was just in and out. And he had told me that he broke off the engagement with this girl, and I'm just like, well, why? What happened? I wanted to, I want to know all the tea. So, he had the nerve to tell me that he prefers curvy women, and she just wasn't cutting it. And
wow.
Right. And I was just like, huh? I was like, why did you get engaged? Why did you give her a ring? Why? He's like, and then he's like, oh, I thought that's what I wanted, but I just realized that, I have to be honest about what I'm attracted to and be honest about what I like. And I prefer curvy women, and that's what I want. And it could have been other things. It could have been that she dumped him. Like, it could have been anything else. But, like, the fact that he admitted that and said that, I was just, like, mind blown. And then when I talked to you and I heard the history, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah. So, Ben, wherever you are, hope you're doing well.
Yo, he sent me a message saying, Happy New Year.
This year?
Yeah.
2023.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Anna, he's obsessed with you. I did not. After all of this time, he had the nerve to say Happy New Year. You see, men love the door cracked. I don't know why.
Like, I have a boyfriend and I'm moving in with him. Like,
oh my gosh, what? We have to get into that. Okay, hold on. We're almost there. All right. So another guy. This guy is super special. So if you're watching, hey. We're just going to call him Blondie. So you know exactly, because there's not too many blondes that I think I've talked to, but you're blonde, so we're going to call you Blondie. So hey, Blondie, if you're watching this, Blondie was a guy. Okay, so during pandemic, like 2020, I moved. Well, I lived in Los Angeles at the time. I was just like staying there for a few months or whatever, and I was dating and I was talking to people online. So I was on one of the apps. Let's say Hinge. I think it was Hinge. And I see this really cute blonde boy, and we start chatting it up, and then he tells me he's from New York City, and I was like, oh my gosh, I live in New York City. I was just visiting LA at the time, and he's like, I'm visiting LA too. And then we started getting into it, and he was just finishing law school. I just believe that he's a lawyer now, but he was just finishing law school at the time. And I think he was on internship, so it was like the perfect time to get to know a fellow New Yorker, since we were both moving back to New York City. So I started, and this was like back in early 2020, so we started talking, chatting, get to know each other, like, building that first talking phase, the friendship, the relationship, all of that. When you guys know my high dating standards, like, suggested that we meet up in LA at that time. It was like, take me out on a date, whatever. He just kind of like trickled off. And at the time, I was talking to a few other guys, so I wasn't really noticing that he like dropped off. I was like, whatever, And so fast forward, we had talked for like a couple months or whatever, but I didn't remember anything about after what happened at that time, because I was talking to other guys who were taking me out. I was paying more attention to them, let's be honest. So Blondie, that was a blip kind of in that time. And then I come back to New York City the next year, I think 2021. We're still following each other on Instagram, I believe at the time. We had matched again. Okay, that's what happened. So we had matched in LA, forgot about him. When I got back to New York, we matched again. So then we started talking again. And guess who's following him and who he's following on Instagram? Anna. Literally everywhere. Like, can I tell you, like, I just like, this doesn't happen with anybody else, or it hasn't yet, but like, it's crazy. So I'm just like, now I gotta hit up Anna with the tea on Blondie. So Anna, tell us about Blondie and how that all worked out with you.
My experience with Blondie. Blondie and I, we met in April of 2021. April, May, March. I think we matched in March of 2021. We're chatting a lot. We had really good banter. Really good texting. There was just like this spark that I felt instantly, and I feel like he felt the same, hopefully. But he was just like really busy with law school, and then I was working. Just a lot going on, so we're having trouble kind of syncing up our schedules. It kind of just, so I normally don't do this. I normally don't invite people to my apartment the first time, and I normally don't go to people's apartments the first time, as we discussed. However, it just worked out, and it was kind of like this like spur of the moment thing where I was like, I just made cupcakes, and he's like, well, it's actually my birthday, and I was like,
what?
Oh, okay, well, why don't you... And he's like, well, I'm having dinner with my friends, and he's like, well, would it be weird if I just like come over? Like, I really want to like see you and like finally meet you. And I was like, okay, I guess, like, let's fuck it, let's do it.
Blondie.
And so he comes over, and I like open up the door with like a cupcake because I'm super nerdy, and and then like a candle, and I was like, happy birthday, nice to meet you, come on in. And he was like, oh, you're so sweet. And then we like sit on my couch, and then he just like goes in for a kiss, and I'm like, bro, like,
whoa, pause. How long were you talking to him before this kiss happened?
I mean, we were talking enough for me to feel comfortable inviting him to my apartment.
Okay.
But not enough to like for him to just go in for a kiss.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like straight out of like this sitcom show where he was like going in for the kiss, and I stood up and I was like, do you want any water or anything? And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I like go to my kitchen and like get him something to drink. And then we sit down, and then we're talking, and like he's telling me about his birthday and all that, and everything was great, and we like, had a really nice night. He eventually left, and we continued talking. I believe I was in when I like was traveling. I went to Miami for some time. We were like video calling each other and chatting throughout that whole time. We hung out a few other times outside after that. So I did feel like, there was something there. And then it kind of I just kind of felt like things were starting to fizz out. And it just like effort wise, not texting as much, not responding as much. Just like the telltale sign, like the normal signs of kind of like, okay, things are not working out.
Right.
And I was really upset about it. And I felt like I was like kind of like chasing him. And at that point I was like, this is not worth me. Like, there were some other things that he had, personal things in his life that he was going through. He suffered a major loss in his family, and, he's an only child. So I felt like, emotionally, he wasn't really ready to go further than what we had, and which was like, fun, casual, like nothing crazy. And like, I was kind of ready to move a little bit further into like a deeper, more intimate partnership, and kind of just wanted to get to know him more, and spend more time together. So I was talking to other people at the time as well, and one of them is my now boyfriend. And I kind of was like, I need to just shift my focus to people who are available and who are ready and who are there for me and show interest. And it was just like a life-changing like mindset change for me, because I feel like I just go for like, I don't know, I just go for like the shiny thing, the like one that's like is the passion, the like, oh, it's so exciting. And like, I need to think about more just like the package itself, the whole package. Like, do I feel support? Do I feel safe? Do I feel like there's compatibility? And I felt that, but I felt like because of where he was in his life, I don't think he could ultimately support me in mine.
As if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song.